All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're looking at a workbook with what has to be one of the most incredible titles I've ever come across: How to Transform Minor Inconveniences into Extreme Existential Crises. You've got to love it. It's this amazing blend of satire and, weirdly enough, genuine self-help. And this quote, this is the heart of the whole thing. It's the hook. It just perfectly nails that feeling, when something so tiny, so insignificant happens, but it feels like the universe itself has just decided to personally mess with your day. So, if that quote hits a little too close to home for you, well, this workbook has a name for people like us. It suggests you might just be an edgewalker. So who exactly are these edgewalkers? The first section, titled Welcome to the Abyss, lays it all out for us. Here's the official definition. See, an edgewalker isn't just someone who gets worked up over small stuff. No, it's someone who lives right on that razor's edge, that place between laughing at the absurdity of it all and sinking into total despair. They see the sacred and the ridiculous in the exact same moment. And the workbook gets even more specific about who it's for. It's really not for everybody. It's for the misfits, the mystics, the teen philosophers, and my absolute favorite, anyone whose soul has cracked open in the produce aisle. I mean, who hasn't been there? It's basically a club for people who are deeply, deeply sensitive, but also have a killer sense of irony about it. But here's the twist. This isn't just about wallowing or complaining. The workbook actually has a pretty serious goal. It wants you to use these tiny, absurd meltdowns as a kind of training, a practice, to develop what it calls radical awareness, to see the hidden machinery working underneath all our daily frustrations. So that brings us to the core ideas. Section 2 is called The Philosophy of Inconvenience, and it's all about, well, turning that spilled coffee into a genuine spiritual gateway. This is just brilliant. It so perfectly captures the modern condition, right? You have this huge existential scream. You're pouring all your frustration into the universe, and what comes back? The most sterile, corporate, impersonal response imaginable. It's hilarious because it's so painfully true. And this philosophy isn't just pulled out of thin air. It actually mashes up some pretty heavy-hitting existentialist thinkers like Camus and Kierkegaard with pop culture touchstones like the movie Donnie Darko. It creates this really cool bridge between classic philosophy and the kind of angst we all feel today. Okay, so that's the theory, but how do you actually do any of this? Well, that's what Section 3, Catastrophic Enlightenment in Practice, is all about. It gives you the actual hands-on exercises. First up, you've got the Daily Meltdown Tracker. So here, you literally log your inconvenience, rate how much it emotionally destroyed you, and then dig deep. So, for instance, spilling your oat milk isn't just a mess. No. It's a 7 out of 10 crisis that leads to the thought, why do I even try? And the insight you pull from that? I fear irrelevance. It's intense. Then you have this symbol decoder. And this is where it gets really creative. You take these mundane events and give them this huge, mythic importance. So spilled coffee becomes the blood of forgotten dreams. Slow Wi-Fi is digital exile. And a lost sock? That's the fragmentation of twin flame energy. It's all about building your own personal mythology out of the little annoyances of life. It even gives you instructions for creating your own rituals. For example, the Wi-Fi is out ceremony. The suggested materials you need to gather include expired coupons and, I love this, a playlist of sighs. You literally write a script and perform a ceremony to process your frustration in the most absurdly creative way possible. So what is the point of all this? Where is this all heading? The final section reveals the endgame: weaponized sensitivity and transcendence. Now, this is a really powerful idea. The workbook says that being super sensitive isn't a weakness at all. It's a superpower. And when you learn to embrace it, mix it with a healthy dose of irony, you can weaponize it. You can turn it into this incredible tool for creative freedom and for seeing the world in a totally different way. This thinking even extends to using things like tarot cards or coin flips for the silliest little decisions, like which cereal to buy. And why would you do that? Because it's a way to practice finding meaning and seeing patterns in total chaos, even if you're the one humorously creating that meaning yourself. And it all leads to this. This is the central paradox. The whole point is to learn to live with two completely opposite ideas in your head at the same time. That every single tiny thing matters immensely, and that none of it matters at all. The goal is to exist peacefully in that tension. Okay, before we wrap up, we have to look at the final section, your existential toolkit. It's got some fun, interactive stuff in the back. I mean, the glossary alone is fantastic. Just look at the definition for a mild crisis. Anything that makes you question your entire life for at least 8 minutes. That specificity, that exaggeration, it's just the perfect tone for this whole book. And finally, we have existential bingo. This is such a great summary of everything we've talked about. Cried in public? Check. Had a life-changing revelation in a parking garage? Yup. That crushing sense of dread while looking at flat-pack furniture at IKEA? Bingo! It turns all these moments of modern suffering into a game you can actually win. So we'll end on the big question that this whole workbook is really asking us. What if the point of all this isn't to fix life's giant, overwhelming problems? What if the real work, the real magic, is in learning how to turn our small, everyday frustrations into something profound, something epic, something beautifully and hilariously meaningful?